Hello and welcome back to another episode of Arsenal Unfiltered, your 3 times a week dose of Arsenal coverage with me, your host Mark. This is my instant reaction to Arsenal 2, Athletic Bilbao 0. It is 7:46. I've literally come straight upstairs following the game. A really, really important victory. A game which I will be going into more detail about tomorrow in my full match review podcast. If you don't want to miss that, make sure you go and hit follow wherever you get your podcasts from. Really, really important. It will allow you to just get my coverage of the club straight into your feed. So what's not to love? Let's get straight into the game because, like I said, it's an instant reaction and I've already waffled on for a minute. So let's get there. Mikel Arteta earned his money tonight. That is my big headline. I think he went stronger than I thought we would, and fair play to him, because I really underestimated Athletic Club, really underestimated the quality that they had, underestimated that stadium by an absolute mile. If you listen to my preview pod, you'll have known that I kind of spoke about how we really should go and be able to rotate and dominate in this game, but I thought Athletic Club were really, really good from the outset. The first 15 minutes were horrible from an Arsenal perspective. Athletic Club were all over us. They were really, really, really good at snapping in and winning the ball up high, making it difficult for us to progress the ball. And they were really, really good. And I'm so glad Mikel Arteta, one, didn't listen to the podcast and thought, I can rotate, and picked the side that he did. You know, I thought that was really, really, I don't want to say clever, but it was just astute. He knows how difficult away games in the Champions League can be. They were without Champions League football for 11 years, which is something I didn't realise. The atmosphere sounded electric in the San Mamés Stadium this evening, and Athletic were really, really good, made it really difficult for us. And even though after the sort of 15, I'd say about 20 minutes, we started to get a bit of a foothold in the game and it became more even. Athletic had periods, we had periods, it was quite even, I think, in terms of shots in the end. But we eventually got there, and we got there by bringing on Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli. I think Gabriel Martinelli is a player who has been really, really maligned at the club. I've said, I'm kind of a bit done with him, but what a fantastic display off the bench. Doing what we know he can do, right? Running in behind, running at pace. When he gets space like that, he is a really dangerous player. And how often have we seen him slide a ball under a keeper in the way that he did for the finish for that first goal? Leandro Trossard, absolutely fantastic flick through for that first goal. And then in the second goal, Martinelli again getting the advantage against the player who'd been on the pitch for a long time. He had fresh legs. He came on, he burst right past them, was able to cut it back to Trossard. And yes, it's a very fortunate finish, but we don't care, right? We just don't care. If that goes in against us, and people are not talking about how fortunate it is, so we're not going to do that for ourselves. We're 2-0 up. And the reason I want to say Mikel Arteta earned his money, because he picked a team of his senior pros, his best players. He didn't risk Ethan Nwaneri in the middle, which I thought he would, with Martin Odegaard not being available. And that did cost us, I think, in this game. It cost us the ability to work the ball through the midfield. And I genuinely thought the three in midfield, Zubimendi was okay. Rice looked very, very lost. And again, Marino was okay when he was at the ball. I think he had some nice touches. But as a unit, they did not play well, and they definitely didn't progress the ball very well. When Mikel Arteta brought Leandro Trossard on, he brought him on in a false nine role, and it solved that problem all of a sudden. Leandro Trossard was able to kind of mix it in the midfield. Suddenly we had an overload in there, because Leandro Trossard was dropping deep rather than what Victor Gyökeres had been doing, which was running in behind and running the defence, and it just wasn't working for us. All of a sudden we got control of that midfield, and it was a fantastic substitution from him. I just want to talk a little bit more about Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli, because real moments of quality from both of them this evening, but what a fantastic set of options to have from the bench, and what a fantastic set of professionals as well. They know that Victor Gyökeres, Eze, Madueke have come in and kind of changed their role in the squad. Absolutely changed their role in the squad, and I think Arsenal fans are ready for that. They're ready for Martinelli and Trossard to not be so key, maybe, and maybe not get so many starts. But tonight it looked like they'd accepted their new roles, came on and and threw a punch. They packed a punch, and they really, really showed that actually having that depth, having that quality off the bench is really important. And they showed that both of them, when they're given an opportunity to play against players who are fatigued, who have been used to a different challenge, who have maybe been set up to deal with one thing, who aren't quite ready for them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They've got so much quality. An assist for Trossard after an assist in the Nottingham Forest game, a goal and an assist for Martinelli, obviously a goal for Trossard as well. All of a sudden, their seasons have burst into life, and I think it's absolutely fantastic that we've got this level of competition throughout the squad. Really, really pleased for both of those guys. I'm sure we'll cover it more in the match review tomorrow. A couple more shout-outs I want to make. Timber, again, fantastic. Mosquera, again, fantastic. I thought Gabriel was the star of the show back there in the back four. Calafiori, again, he was good. But Gabriel, he led in a really difficult scenario, I think, when the Athletic Club were playing really, really well, doing a really, really good job, making it a battle, making it hard for Arsenal, and of course, creating chances for themselves. I thought Gabriel did a really, really good job of seemingly being, well, he was the captain on the pitch, but he was the leader in that zone, and he made some really key tackles, some brilliant blocks, delayed the game really well. And, I'm calling out Gabriel. I could call out any one of the back four. They were all brilliant again, and we've gone through 5 games now, conceded only 1 goal. Our defence looks really, really good. I am concerned a little bit about the midfield after tonight's performance. We couldn't progress the ball very, very well at all, and I think Manchester City will be looking at what Athletic did tonight and thinking, okay, there's an opportunity there. So I really hope Ødegaard is fit again for the weekend, or maybe we consider a change in there. Is Ethan ready? I don't know. It will be at home, of course, on the weekend, so maybe he'll be ready. But what we saw tonight and how we progressed the ball, I think you've got to put half of it down to Athletic Bilbao being really, really good in their press. Not half of it down to us not having the personnel in the middle there. I can understand why he didn't pick Ethan Nwaneri from the start. In the end, it worked out for Mikel Arteta. He made a really good sub for Leandro Trossard to bring Leandro Trossard in at false 9, and that changed the game. But perhaps if that doesn't, if that situation doesn't develop for Martinelli and we don't go on to win the game, we would be having a very different conversation about, do we have enough central talent, if we're not going to trust Ethan, why aren't we bringing Eze in there, all of that sort of stuff. In the end, his decisions really worked, and I think he earned his money, so fair play to Mikel Arteta. Yeah, Rice, a little concerning for me if I was to do a kind of under par player. He got booked very early on and he looked a bit lost from that point, trying to match the physical battle, but potentially with that yellow card in his mind, maybe a little bit reserved, trying to manage himself. I don't think this was his best game by a long way, and it's a shame because he's had a wonderful start to the season for both Arsenal and England, so a little bit of a worry. Just a final thing to wrap up. Obviously, like I say, match review tomorrow. We'll do a lot more detail then, but final thing to wrap up. Away games in this Champions League format are so difficult, so tricky. To be able to get a win in a game where the other team really shows up. You're away from home, the other team really, really shows up, and you're not probably at it. Your best players aren't there. The players you have remaining aren't 100%. To have the ability to go and get 3 points through a couple of super subs, through having a really, really strong defence. Arsenal 3 years ago would have crumbled under that pressure that Athletic put us under. But we've got a really strong defence to deal with that. All of those things, to get that, it really could take the pressure off a buy-in game or the Inter game later down the league phase. This is a crucial victory. I can't tell you how much because, I think there's a world where you can rationalise a draw here being a good result and, saying, oh, it's the first one, it's away from home. But actually, to walk away with 3 points feels absolutely massive right now. I'm delighted. Congratulations, Mikel Arteta. Congratulations, Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard. You proved your worth to this team tonight, and I think you did a really, really good job. And yeah, I'm really, really happy that we managed to take away the 3 points. That's the 10 minutes. I try to keep it to 10 minutes for the instant reactions. Like I said, make sure you follow if you want to hear that full match review tomorrow morning. All that's left to say, guys, is thank you so much for following. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.